250 calories in this thing.
What, the Snickers?
Yeah. Nice post-training Snickers today.
Dude, yeah, but you know at times I've heard people like high-level trainers saying, like, oh, yeah, like, powerlifting. I tell my guys to eat, like, Twizzlers or something after. Like, you're putting out so much output when you're doing certain things. Like, it's okay to have certain sugar. I mean, obviously, like, high fructose corn syrup and shit ain't good for you. But I love me some motherfucking ketchup, so I don't care.
Dude, my old strength coach, I was asking him, like post-diet, because I used to make, like a post-train, like, protein shake, and I put, like, carbs there, like carb flour or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. And he's like, why do you drink all that stuff? And I was like, yeah, it's post-workout, man. He's like, active recovery. He's like, you know what I've been having for the past, like, 20 years, like, post-training, like, a hard, like, lifting session? And I was like, well, what do you have? He's like, Lucky Charms. He's like, big bowl of Lucky Charms. And he's like, it's held me over for 20 years. He's like, I feel incredible afterwards. So now I switched over. So now, like after this, I'll go home, have, like, a bowl of, like, cereal, and, like, put that down.
I would have Cocoa Puffs.
Cocoa Puffs are amazing, too.
Cocoa Puffs are good, and I do love me some Lucky Charms.
And I'm thinking today's kind of like my cheat day, so I'm like, always have this internal debate after, like, you and I train on, like, a Saturday. It's like, all right, do I want pizza? Do I want Shake Shack?
I know.
Do I want this? And my wife's like, you have to get Shake Shack, because I guess they got one of those bailouts, or, like, the stimulus package. It was, like, $10 million, but they gave it back.
Yeah, because it was the right thing to do.
Yeah, so my wife's like, you can only get Shake Shack. So I'm like,
hey,
right.
Nothing wrong with that. Yeah. And how awesome did it feel to sweat like a human again?
That's, like... Especially, I told you, like, during the week, I'm doing these little, like, home workouts. And, like, a little bit of a sweat in, and now it's getting warmer out. So now it's easier to do the warm-up to sweat. But, it doesn't compare.
Nothing. Just that locked-in combat and just that being present.
Yeah.
For an extended period of time, turning off the world and being able to just lock in that meditative state of moving meditation, basically, you know, when we roll. So
yeah, nothing like it. Yeah, so I was, what is this? I saw that Facebook post last night, man.
Oh, like my mask versus no mask debate?
So as soon as I saw that, I'm like, oh, shit, like, here it comes. And
I gotta stir the pot, kid.
Yeah, so what do you got? Like, you had, like, 50 replies on it now? So,
dude, something crazy. So
yeah, so I started kind of reading up on it, like, the benefits or whatnot, the mask. Because I kind of asked myself that question, like, do I really need this thing? I'm not wearing, like, the crazy, like, the N95 or anything like that. So I figured, we should definitely talk about that.
All right, let's talk about. Let's check it out.
Let's do it.
Jiu-jitsu, when I hit you, then I split you.
Folks, Two Live Fools coming at you again, episode 3. We are on episode 3, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So guys, Garrett had put a post out there regarding this kind of this mask versus no mask debate. It's kind of been a hot topic, not just in the martial arts kind of training sense in schools or not, but it's kind of been this kind of worldwide kind of debate. So we figured we kind of harp on it for a little bit and kind of go through our viewpoints, and we've been seeing some feedback on our Facebook about it, so we figured we'd talk about it real quick, see some of the research that we've kind of pulled up, and after that, if you have any information to provide too in regards to your feedback, I mean, that's appreciated as well. So
yeah, like we said, man, like, we're not married to our decisions. If you present good evidence, like, we're not idiots. We'll take the good evidence, man. Yeah. Like, we just want. And the reason I put that Facebook post out, one, just because I like to stir the fucking pot. Two, is because I wanted real answers from real-time people that I know, I've spent personal time with. I know their character, whether, I like all their characters or don't like all their characters. I know I have my moral gauge, my personal one, on each, one of those people that have commented on that thing. And, for the most part, I like everybody who commented. So the cool thing was being able to have that honest debate and not throw mud at each other the whole time. Not slit each other's throats because it's like, you're a fucking baby murderer because you don't want to wear a mask. Or, you're a gun-toting redneck because you do, like, vice versa. Whatever. So, I think the biggest thing me and you are trying to convey, besides like, our martial arts side, just because that's who we are, is think for yourself.
Yeah.
Don't take the first answer. Do the research. Do the stuff. And, we had a bunch of comments, and we had a bunch of different views, and I could appreciate all views, whether I agreed with them or I didn't agree with them.
Yeah.
At least we knew where you were coming from.
Yeah, and it's good. That's what I was hoping for, to see those varying opinions. And like I said, it's okay to have an opinion. It's awesome to see the different sides, the different approaches that people were coming at it though. But I think the biggest thing as well, it's not killing each other over it. It's like you're allowed to feel the way you feel. That's at the end of the day, you're allowed to feel. You're allowed to have an opinion. You're allowed to agree. You're allowed to disagree. But I'm not gonna, we didn't really come at each other and be like, no, you're wrong.
Well, that's the thing I agree with you about, is like we were able, and we talk about this all the time, me and you, is like we're able to have honest, hard conversations with each other because we respect each other. So, at the end of the day, like me and you have had some hard conversations about race, about, religious beliefs, the political beliefs and all that other stuff. And like, we agree on a lot of stuff, but like, you're not in my shoes, I'm not in your shoes. So, but we can have those honest conversations because we respect each other as humans.
Yeah. And,
that's just, what we were trying to play with. So, all right. So basically with the mask debate, I know it sounds funny, right? Say it faster. You've been saying it good. Masturbate. Yeah, we've been talking about that. Masturbate.
We've been coming at each other like you said masturbate. You said you can't say that.
I'm like, you can't say masturbate. Can't say it. But no, it's perfect though, because that's just
that's why there's a tissue shortage, man.
Listen, tissue lotion shortage. Like, what are you gonna do, man? What are you gonna do?
It all makes sense now.
It does. It does. It's a giant population control. Shoot it in tissue.
Oh God.
I know. All right, let's get back on topic because we're just two fools. So, basically what I saw from a lot of people was they don't think it really does anything, but they're doing it to make other people feel comfortable.
Which is understandable.
That's genuine.
Yeah,
I think that's
absolutely.
genuine as hell. Excuse me. So I think that's a genuine, feeling for a lot of people, and, but also, like, let's break it down, because we're about like raw facts, everything. Like that's, and I'm just saying, like, that is genuine, and I know 95% of people are coming from their hearts in a good place with that.
Yeah.
But realistically, everybody's a selfish son of a bitch. For the most part, like when it comes down to it, you're going to do what's best for you. So like I've seen people, and I'm not just talking about this thread, I'm just saying in general, like I know some people's like characters, and I know they're selfish people, and they're just like virtue signaling, like I'm doing the right thing, I'm sitting inside, I'm wearing my mask, and it's like, bro, you don't even leave your house to begin with.
Yeah.
And then you're going to tell me or you that we're murderers because we went outside without a mask on and we don't care about the human population, when I've literally spent my whole entire life trying to better people through martial arts, whether it's a kid getting bullied, whether it's a mom that, had a baby and trying to lose weight and feel better about herself, whether it's a guy who, he's trying to lose weight so he feels better about himself, or, just bringing that level of self-confidence up, so you get that swag we talked about a couple times earlier, so like you can't say that I don't get it or have compassion or whatever. So the thing was like, but what are the facts? Right?
Like what's the mask really doing? And I'm not talking about, the big emphasis was on like the N95, but unfortunately the N95 isn't as available to regular people. I know there's big, looking at like FDA standards, like the N95 should really only be for healthcare professionals, which I understand. Like, I understand, like, okay, these are the people that are actually on the front lines, like, working with those people who are infected. So I get it. They need the top quality mask. So they said general public should essentially only have the cloth mask. And I get that, too, because you're seeing that, especially like retailers. Like, the other day I went food shopping. I tried to go to Costco, and there's a big sign that says you cannot come inside unless you have a mask on. And in that sense, I'm like, okay, this is your rule. Like, obviously, I need to food shop, so I'll come in and wear the mask. But then I think about, like, looking at, like, various stats, like, just randomly, I Googled all right, how far does like a sneeze or like a cough travel? Mm-hmm. So when I think it was done, I think it was a Florida University had done a study, and saying when someone coughs, within I think it was like 3 seconds, the cough is at like 5 feet, or actually 9 feet, and then anything beyond that, it's 10 feet on. Mm-hmm. So of course that kind of makes me go back to like, all right, the social distancing aspect. Like we're standing 6 feet apart, but what's that really doing with the combination of social distancing and the fact that you're wearing a cloth mask that may, in a sense, not really be protecting you that much?
Well, yes. So, like, the N95 mask is nothing new to me and the respirators, just because my father's owned an auto body shop his whole life, and he still works at an auto body shop. Yeah. So I've been wearing a dust mask, sanding bumpers, cleaning out, paint booth filters and everything else, and wearing respirators for, spraying parts and all that stuff since I was, like, 13 years old, 12, 13 years old. So I'm not saying I'm an expert, but I've had to wear this stuff because, we're working with chemicals and dust and everything else. And, the N95, same thing. If it doesn't fit right, et cetera, right? So the other thing is like, you're touching your face all the time. And I know any healthcare professional, because I have a lot of friends that, are nurses, and we have a lot of students that are in the healthcare field. I mean, my sister works in the hospital. I have students that are nurses, doctors, training partners, etc. Right? And the big thing, and especially because my middle son, Gunnar, he was in the NICU. He was premature. He was a gastro baby. He was born with his guts on the outside. He came early, so his lungs weren't developed as strongly as they should be. So, like, listen, like, my kids had pre-existing conditions. I have pre-existing conditions. I was born with a heart murmur. I have Lyme's. So, like, whatever. Like, I'm not, I'm looking at this from all sides. But, the thing is, we also saw in the post was like the cleanliness of actually really doing it. Because when you're in a hospital setting, it's like wash your hands, put the mask on, don't touch anything, have your gloves, disinfect, blah, 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 blah. And then once you're out of that space, you have to strip everything and start that process again. Now, your normal... I guess, you're a normal person, you're trying to do the mask, but they're not doing all that other stuff. And even if you're doing the hand sanitizer and this and that and all that other stuff, like, you're not going to check all the boxes. It's impossible. So, like, let's be realistic here. So, like, is it really helping you, or is it a false sense of security? And like, it's the same thing. The CDC, we did research on that where it's like, okay, yeah, the mask, you should wear the mask, CDC guidelines. But then literally on another page, it's like the mask doesn't stop it. So it's like you're getting conflict of interest from the main source that everybody's like, oh, it's the CDC, you got to do. Now, me, personally, I don't trust anything. So CDC, don't trust you. Sorry, not my fault. You make diseases and shoot them at people. So, I'm buzzing. But like, I don't really trust what is coming out of there. So, but that's me. I make that conscious decision. Now, I've had, and people go, you don't understand viruses. You don't understand infection. You don't understand this. Well, listen, man, I've had scarlet fever like 5 times. I've had staph infections. So, I have Lyme's disease. So, I have more information than a lot of people, but I don't go out there and say, look at me, I have asthma. Yeah. Look at me, I did this. So that's just not my style. Yeah. I'm just putting it out there now to just be like, for those haters that are like, you don't know what it's like. Like, yeah, I do. Got a kid, had issues. Me, got some issues. Well, I got more than those type of issues, but.
And I think too, it's like you're saying, your experience with like different diseases. Granted, yes, I'm not an expert. Training in combat sports most of my life, especially being on a mat or being in a ring. Yeah, I've contracted different things. Like we talked about staph and ringworm. Yeah. Even right before my daughter was born, I got Coxsackie.
That's like the baby disease, right?
It's essentially the baby disease. So you kind of figure like I just randomly got it, and that knocked me out for like 3 or 4 days. And I thought I had strep and all the stuff, and I started getting sores on my hand.
Yeah.
So people were just, I went to the doctor eventually, and he was just like,
because that was going around like a year or two ago.
Yeah, and he's just like, yeah, man, he's like, yeah, hand, foot, and mouth disease. And then he flat says, like, I thought only children get this disease. And I was like, all right, thanks, doc. Just give me,
thanks.
But then it was like the same thing.
Just because my mentality as a child doesn't mean, I guess it waved over.
Doesn't mean I get the diseases and everything. So, but yeah, kind of going when you look at these various resources, and you and I are kind of always kind of bouncing different sources of information off each other to see, like, all right, you saw this article, so like CDC and FDA, and one article says it stops the spread, then one article says no, it only slows the spread, and then one article is like everyone needs an N95, and then another article says N95 is only for healthcare professionals, not the general public. General public needs to wear a cloth mask. Then it's like, all right, one says the cloth mask is 100% effective, and then it also goes in that aspect when you look at, like, if you had a room, say, of like 10 people, and there's like one person who's, like, say, infected, everyone wore a mask. What's really that cloth mask doing? And I think the one overall trend I'm kind of hearing with that mask is people say the mask stops someone who's potentially sick from spreading it to someone else, which
I think we agree.
Which makes sense.
Makes sense. But if me and you are healthy as how healthy could be, why the fuck are we wearing masks?
Yeah.
Like, listen, I like Batman just as much as the next guy, but, like, I don't need to run around like a superhero all the time. Listen, I wanted to be a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. You don't see me dressing up with a shell on my back every day. So, like, but, like, if we're healthy people, that's my other, like, this is just my thought process. Like, you don't have to think like me. This is how my brain works. Like, your body has evolved over, however long we've been on this planet, to get whatever you're breathing out of your body is toxic to your body, right? So that carbon monoxide, whatever it is, right? Dioxide, right? So you guys know what I'm talking about. So, you're getting that out, but now it's like, okay, let's put a muffler over your face and just keep huffing that shit back in. So, like, it's like certain things like that. If I'm healthy, like, you have to breathe certain things in, you have to breathe certain things out. You have to update your immune system. If you just hide and sanitize everything, like, you're going to be sick every time you leave your house, okay? Now, granted, like I said in the episodes, we are not dirtballs. Like, we hold a level of cleanliness where, like I said, like the sanitizing, everything else. Like, I've done this my whole life because I've dealt with infectious diseases. And I've dealt with, like, getting stuff that has knocked me on my ass, or put me in the hospital. So I get it. But, like, I think even Drew, Drew's the brains of the operation over here. He's the educated one. I just punch things for a living. So, he did some research on the masks, the different types of masks, what they do, so on and so forth. So I know you were going into the cloth mask, but, like, he's got his research and paperwork in front of us. Like, there's a couple different masks, right? What were we looking at?
So we're looking at the N95s initially. Like I said, that was the one that was like designated primarily for healthcare workers. And like I said, I was going back. Like, I understand, like, these are the people who are actually working the front lines. So you want to make sure they have the best of the best. But then other than that, I mean, the kind of mainstream mask is, like, kind of the cloth mask, that standard mask that you're starting to see all these different manufacturers, like, producing, like, droves. That's kind of the big one you're seeing.
Like that surgical mask, right? Like, you see, like, the doctors do. And like, you see surgeons wear them, right?
Yeah.
And they always say, it's like, it stops me, any surgeon I know, it stops me from, if I got a cough while I got a patient open, putting, more germs into that patient or whatever it is, or,
Yeah, and I get that, and I get the sense, like we went back before. It's the idea of stopping it if someone's potentially sick. And I get there are some situations where, even if for a fact you're not sick, you still are trying to protect people. Like, to give you, like, an example, like, my mom every once in a while, when I stop by her house just to drop off groceries, like, I asked her a couple of times. I'm like, hey Mom, I'm like, I'm coming in the house to drop off your stuff. I'm like, do you need me to put a mask on? And for the most part, she's like, no. And she's kind of the same. She's kind of old school. She's like, you kidding me? I don't believe in that thing. But then there's also that part of me. It's like, all right, like, I know for a fact that I'm in my house all day, so I'm not, like, out and about, like, interacting with people. So I'm not really, like, exposed to anything. But there's also that point. It's like, damn, I really don't want to put her at risk just in case. Like, God forbid something happened.
Which I think, like, that debate, we had on my feed or whatever, I feel like that's most people, like me and you, think, I think the masks are ridiculous to a certain extent.
Yeah.
And I think it's like anything else in life. There's certain tools for certain jobs. You don't bring a freaking sledgehammer when you need a precision tweezer.
Yeah.
You know, like, or you don't bring a tweezer when you're trying to knock down a brick wall.
Yeah.
Okay? So I think the masks have its purpose in certain places.
Yeah.
I agree. You know, if you're in tight, fine corners with people that are potentially sick. Now, the other debate you're going to hear is you don't know if they're sick. It's asymptomatic. It's this. Let me tell you something, okay? I literally, you know, I'm in a community, close-knit community, and then also, like, my school, you know, it's a closed facility, and, you know, like, you know, my wife works at daycare, and, you know, we saw this with these symptoms literally in December, in January. And we saw kids getting sick, people getting sick. You know, my family, like, she ran out of weird dry cough for like a month, and she kept going and getting tested for the flu, kept coming back negative, but she had a dry cough. Like, every symptom that Corona had, right? Yeah. Okay? And, like, this shit's been here. Mm-hmm. If we could all get tested for the antibodies right now, like, I'm sure the numbers are going to drop dramatically, because I had multiple families that were out for like 2 weeks, and they're like, you know, we kept going and getting tested for the flu, and it kept coming back negative for flu A, flu B, and we just had these coughs we couldn't kick, and it was like, you know, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and they were giving me antibiotics and all that other stuff. So, like, you know, and I've had this conversation with multiple people. So I know whether you wanted to put it out there, you don't want to put it out there. We've had these conversations, so I ain't going to name drop or anything, but, like, listen, we've had these conversations. So if you had this and you know, you add these into the numbers and everything, that's why everybody's like, oh, look at the science, look at the science, look at the science. We are looking at science. Yeah. But you don't know if the books are cooked. You had, what's her name, Bricks come out and say that the numbers are probably 25% inflated. Yeah. Okay, that's big. That's a quarter. Yeah. You know? Then you have Fauci saying the masks don't really work, and he's the head of this shit, right? And he even said, like, the mask, it's kind of like, you know, there for security, but they really don't do anything. And everybody's like, you need to wear that mask. You need to listen to Fauci. Well, if you really listen to Fauci, he's changed his stories 1,000 times, which is fine. Like, the thing was evolving. Whether you believe in him, you don't believe in him. Everybody can agree is nobody knew shit, except for the deep state, okay? Nobody knew shit about this until a certain point, and you could see, if you go back in videos and timelines, like, they were just hitting it as the ground as it was thrown at them. Mm-hmm. Now, did some of them know more than others? Possibly, you know, because just like in life, some people are smarter than other people. Yeah. Some people are more advanced than other people. Some people have better athletic ability than other people. I know we're all created equal, Drew. I know we are, buddy. But in real life, like, we're on the mat where it doesn't lie. Yeah. There's people that have abilities that are better than mine. You know, you have abilities better than me. I have certain abilities better than you. Just the way we're built, our thought process, etc. It's real life, man. Yeah. It's real life. Like, I ain't here to bullshit you. You know?
And I think, you know, kind of going back to the mask, I think the mask is appropriate in certain scenarios.
That's what I'm saying.
Like I said,
different tools for the job.
But one thing I don't understand, like, well, actually two things. One, when I see people driving down the road, and you can see them in their window, they're in the car. Well, you saw it this morning. I saw it too when I was driving up here.
Oh, my God.
In the car, window shut, gloves, full mask. I even saw yesterday.
That's the guy that jerks off with a condom on. I'm sorry. I know that's blunt. I'm sorry for my language, whatever. But, like, let's be fucking real here, everybody. That's, like, you know, that's the guy that does that. Yeah. And that's just, that's stupid. Like, you're in your own car with your own gloves on, with the mask on, with the windows on, but then you're kicking the AC on that's bringing all that everything. So now that brings us into what were we talking about? I put some shit on there, like, send me a picture of your microwaves, your furnace filters, and your bathrooms, you holier than thou disinfectors. Not one person sent it. And then me and you were even talking about, like, cabin filter in your car.
You know, that was the first thing, because anytime, like, you go to the shop, you know, get an oil change, and then what's one of the first things they ask you? Oh, hey, your filters are kind of beat up. You want us to change them for like $100? And you're like, no, I'll stop at AutoZone. I'll go pay it up for $20, do it myself. And do you usually do it? No, because I forget about it. Because I'm like, oh, big deal, whatever. So I remember just for shits last night, I was like, you know what? I just bought, like, you know, like a used car, you know, for a couple $1,000. I'm like, let me just check this thing. Let me see it out. So I remember reaching and pulling it out, and as I was pulling it out, first of all, like, a mound of just leaves and dirt just came out. Yeah. And then the filter came out. So I'm pretty sure the filter wasn't changed since the car rolled off the assembly line.
So they lied, yeah. Exactly.
And I was just like, dear God. Like, and, you know, granted, I drive, like, my windows down and whatnot, but that really doesn't help anything. But I was like, shit, man. There's things, even like my air conditioning filter, like for my central air, I just pulled that the other.
Well, because I said something, you're like, oh shit, let me go check all that shit.
But stuff you really don't even think about.
No!
Like, if the air conditioning's cold, do you really even care about the filter?
No, I know. Well, unless you're like, you know, an HVAC guy, or you've owned your own house and you're like, all right, these things they also make the, you know, the units perform better when you have a clean filter.
Yeah.
So like
in
even in my old school, you know, we had a furnace, you know, that you needed a filter for and everything. And I mean, I changed that thing every like 4 to 6 months. One, it was more efficient, but two, the other thing, like in our industry, and I know it's going to sound so weird, like martial arts schools tend to be dusty. Okay? Why do they tend to be dusty? Not because we're dirtballs. It's like you don't realize that dust is dead skin cells.
It's like 90% dead skin.
Yes. So the other part of that is like we're grabbing, we're training, so there's that friction knocking off all. You're basically like loofahing each other, you know.
It's that exfoliation, man.
Yeah, and then everything's in the air because everybody's moving. So like I'll mop, clean, dust before I leave, and I come in the morning. I'm like, what? Because everything's settled once everybody's there. So then I have to do it again in the morning, which is fine because I'm just used to, you know, I've been training for 32 years this year, and I've been mopping mats for that long, so I know it's there. Me at my academy, I do it twice.
Yeah.
Does everybody do that? I don't know. I'm not there, but I know my academy does it. So
yeah, I think, and like I was saying, like I said, the mask situation with an N95, a cloth mask, a ninja mask, anything else. Certain scenarios, it's like I said, it's warranted, but I think there's certain scenarios also where it's hurting you way more than it's helping you. Like I said,
that's what I'm saying. You're trapping bacteria, you're trapping viruses like in your mouth hole. Because like, listen, I mean, I'm guilty of it too. The only reason I'm putting a mask on is so I can, like, you know, go into the store and get the things my family needs. You know, but I'm outside working. You know, if you're not sick, I'm not scared of you. You know, because like that's the other thing. Like we've talked about too is like, you know, we're in the academy now, right? And I got that quote on the wall.
Yeah.
What do we talk about? Don't let the fear of something that may happen make nothing happen.
Yeah.
And I'm not just saying, it just fits really well at this time, but that's how I've been living my life since I opened. Yeah. And I don't know if it's because I've been an entrepreneur, like I haven't worked for anybody but myself, you know, my whole life basically. So like I kind of, that's like my mantra, right? Is that the right word?
Yeah, it's mantra.
Okay, mantra, whatever. I like, you know, whatever. I'm not a yogi, so I don't have the hums, you know. So, but you know, but like that's kind of how I live my life. Like it's like, you know, if you did this with everything, and everybody's like, yeah, but it's other people that could die. Well, I've seen some of you motherfuckers drive, and every time that you get in that car, you're a dangerous son of a bitch. Yeah. So, you know, and you're in that car a lot more, you know, or, you know, every time you stepped outside, like, oh no, if I go outside, you know, I might break my ankle. Like we take calculated risk every day just being humans. Yeah. Getting in the shower. We talked about this. I did a Google on that, right? 14% of people that get in the shower and slip and fall, 14%, which is like 1,400 times the amount of what this is right now, die. Yeah. So what? Are you not going to bathe, you dirtballs? Yeah. You know, like you like it's a calculated risk, and some people take higher calculated risk, like those base jumpers, those crazy son of a bitches. Like I don't like heights. I don't even like to get on a ladder. That's why I like jiu-jitsu. I'm on the ground, right? But like, you know, those guys take those calculated risks. Now I know that's one extreme to the other, but there's little things that we take calculated risk with every day. Getting in the car, getting in the shower, you know. Using certain products, using certain things, like, you know, charging the phone next to your bed, you know, stuff like that, you know, like, so, I mean, it's just a calculated risk, and are you going to take it or are you not? And if you are, you aren't, I ain't here to judge you, man. That's you. That's you. It's okay. It's okay.
It's all good. Like I said, man, it's like I think anytime you leave the house, it's a number of calculated risks, it's not just one. So, I think that's it's an interesting issue, man. Like I said, it's needed in one scenario, but then if I'm walking around my neighborhood, you know, I'm taking a walk down the street, you know, with my daughter, do I need the mask? I'm outside.
And fresh air?
Yeah, fresh air.
And I'm social distancing, so, you know, like, if you're closer than, you know, 10 feet away from me, like, listen, and at the end of the day, like, it's allergy season in New Jersey, so people are going to be sneezing, people are going to be coughing, and it's like, you know, it is what it is. And, you know, if you have kids, like, we got kids, like, they're dirtballs. Anybody that has kids, like, They're window lickers, they're shopping cart lickers, they're all this other stuff. But, that's one way they build their immune system, too. Now, is it the grossest thing ever? Yes. How many of you guys have kids that, they're like, oh, chew goldfish. Here, Daddy, you want some? Out of their mouth. And you're like, oh, that was a soaking wet goldfish. Oh, my God. We deal with gross-ass shit being parents every day. So, I don't know if that's made me desensitized a little bit to certain things, because there was certain things I don't let my food touch.
Yeah.
I'm a weirdo like that.
I actually have one of those sectioned plates.
Yeah, me too.
Because my wife actually...
My sister's like that. Dude, I'm a weirdo. I don't like certain things, and I like certain things. And then, even when I eat my food, I eat my protein first, then I eat my vegetables, then I eat my starches, whatever it is. But I eat it in order, too. I don't mix certain things. So I get it. If you're a weirdo, I'm a weirdo with lots of stuff. So, I get it, man. But,
doesn't make you a serial.
Who am I telling you? You like to mix all your food? Go ahead and do it. I just ain't doing it.
Yeah.
Just right now. It's just different things, man. And, we got to be able to, be compassionate and be, understanding of each other without just kneecapping each other all the time because you think you're right, I'm wrong. Mm-hmm. And I see all these people, too. And, listen, They think they're the most educated son of a bitches in the world, and you just come off like an asshole, like an arrogant fuck. And, it's just listen, not everybody's as educated. If you want to give them some information and steer them in the direction, that's awesome. Yeah. You don't have to be like, you dumb son of a bitch, blah, 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 blah. Listen, I'm just looking for answers, too. I don't know all the answers. Yeah. Listen, if you tell me you know all the answers, I'd walk away from you because you're a liar. You're a liar. And I know a lot of people that think that they're, smarter than everybody and they know all the answers. And they're like, oh, I saw this, CNN report. And it's well, nobody believes CNN anymore. So, I'm sorry, I don't take your fact as factual for that one. But, if you give me, 5 different sources that are all different views and they all say the same thing, all right, man, I'm not a dummy. So... I don't know. It is what it is. It's still one of them hot button debates, man. Yeah. And people are
it's going to continue to go back and forth until, I don't want to bring up the idea of, normalcy, when
don't even give that word. New normal, we are not giving it power because this is not normal.
Yeah.
Normal is what we were 3 months before this.
Yeah.
Just hugging each other, loving each other, choking each other. That's the other thing, too. I hear people, they're like, I just want to give my grandma a hug. I just want to give my mom a hug. Well, okay, if you're educated and you're not sick and they're not sick, why would you not hug each other?
Yeah.
Oh, because I might be sick. They're putting it in your head to be scared of yourself.
Yeah.
If you're that, and like I said, me and you talk, and we think a little bit different. We're not that mentally weak to be told what to think. Listen, and that's the other thing. I'm just built a certain way. It's oh, you told me to put a mask on? I ain't doing it because you told me to put one. And you can ask any one of my high school teachers. That's how I am. And any one of my middle school teachers. It was not I'm fuck the man. It's just if I want to do it, I'm going to figure out why to do it. I'm going to question why to do it. And then I'm going to make the conscious decision. Yeah. So do I wear a mask to go into stores? Absolutely, because it's mandatory right now. Yeah. But, we start giving up that. Then they take a little bit more. When this whole thing started, I literally said, this is scary. And it wasn't even scary to me. The virus, yes, because it was just the unknown. Yeah. But for me, personally, what was more scary, how quick everybody was just give up all your rights and liberties. Yeah. Give it up. And I had this conversation with, local politicians before it happened and local, authorities. And they were all yeah. Because I'm once you give up your rights, it's very hard to get them back. Yeah. And once you're okay giving up a little bit of something and this and oh, you're crazy, you're this, you're that, oh, you're a tinfoil hatter. Who's walking around with all masks on? It's a tinfoil mask right now, to me personally, certain things. So you can't have your cake and eat it too. Yeah. You have to take in all those perspectives.
You do. And like I said, I think the fear aspect, and for most people, a lot of it was the unknown. There's such little information coming out of this. But then there's also that piece that comes out of it when you start to think about, you have kids, you have a family.
Yeah.
You have.
They scared the shit. They're trying to scare the shit out of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
that's the piece that's all right. you know, what's real, how bad is it gonna get? Like,
what's
God forbid, like my wife gets sick, you know.
What's easier to control, though, Drew?
It is.
An informed public or a feared a fearsome public.
Yeah,
like
you're gonna worry about your family.
You're gonna be like, oh, I gotta look to Bobby to or to the governor to have all the answers to live my life, and that's what some people are like. And like, I just was never built like that. It's like, let me do my thing. I ain't gonna hurt you. I'm gonna try to be helpful. And like, anybody that knows me knows I'm a good dude. Like, it knows like I'm here for my community. I'm here for my students. I'm here for my friends. I'm here for my family. Like, I've literally given people the shirt off my back.
Yeah.
Like, walked in, they're like, gee, I like that shirt. I'm like, do you? Here you go. Boom. They're like, you just gave me the shirt. I'm like, that's what I do. I don't think, like, that's just how I'm built.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm looking for, like, like, I say it all the time. People are like, oh, I'll see posts like, oh, paid it forward. I did my good deed for the day. Like, dude, how many times I've carried old ladies across the street just because it's the right thing to do? I don't have to post about it.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying like if that's your thing, God, be you, do you. But I'm just saying for me, like I don't put myself on blast because it's just like, oh, you want me to congratulate myself for being a decent fucking human being? All right, yeah. Like I even see it, like you see me with my kids, like they do something good and everybody's like, oh, you should reward them. I'm like, reward them for what? Yeah. Being a decent human, for using their manners, for saying please and thank you, for cleaning up after themselves. Oh, you should get this, you should get that. Now, like, do we have a reward system? Yeah. You built that rock wall with me, Gunner, you're 4? Hell yeah, you can get something. Yeah. Awesome. Oh, Gav, you did this, this, and this. Oh, you get your reward? Yeah, he likes Legos, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we have reward systems for certain things, but basic human characteristics and basic morals and traits, like, why are you rewarding that? It's just, you like, that's just what should be done. And then that's me. Like, I don't need to be like, rah, rah, siskumba, look at me, like, that's just not how I'm built.
I think, like, how many times have you posted when you go to the supermarket and you return your shopping cart?
Yeah.
True. Have you ever posted that shit? Like, as soon as you throw it back in the little carousel, go back into your cart, you're just like, oh shit. Like, throw it up on the ground, like
yeah, right. Yo, I'm one of them real OGs getting my quarterback, you know?
Yep.
So, no, this is how you know you're respectful, because I return the card all the time, even if it's far. And I got 3 kids, like, you gotta get them in a car, it's a pain in the ass, and I hear moms, like, they're like, you don't understand. I do understand, because I'm a present father, and I have my kids by myself. Like, a lot of, like, Rand's friends are like, oh, you leave them? She's like, it's their father. Yes, I leave all of them with them. He's a capable human being. Yeah. He takes care of our whole family. He can take care of the 3 so I can go out and do something, where like other people are like, oh, I'm not leaving him with dad, he can't even tie his shoes, So, and like I train kids for a living. I've been a kid, like, so like I'm a kid person. So, it's just one of those things, but like, you're an OG when you don't even get the quarterback and it's just the real one and you put it away, like, yeah, all right, that's what I do. Number 2 is like, I'm the one who has to pay for the damage to the cars if I don't. Yeah. So for me, it's just like it's like cheap insurance, like changing your oil so your engine doesn't blow up. Yeah. Every mechanic I ever talk to, any one of my friends, are like, oil change, cheapest insurance you can have for your car. Yep. It's just like, you change that and that engine will run. Like it's $30 to keep that, $70,000 car on the road, bro. Like, so I just try to like kind of look at little things like that. Yeah. But
yeah, so I think, this was a good topic to cover, and like I said, folks, like, we'll keep kind of putting out these little hot topics there, like, just to kind of get your thoughts. So, like I said, I know you put that post on Facebook, Garrett, and I know that's probably going to continue to get comments on, so.
Well, whatever, man. I'm just glad that people were, like, not being total scuzzbags to each other, and we had the honest conversation, and we, like, really, like, because I know, like, like I said, like, 90, pretty much 100% of the people on that thread are good people, and they're just trying to do the right thing and trying to do it the best way they know how. Yeah. But I also know a lot of people are scared to talk because everybody else is like, you're a piece of shit. You want to kill babies. Da! And you're just like, oh, man. Like, I like babies. I have a lot of them, and they're my favorite things in the world. And, like, so. Yeah. But I think we covered this as much. This is as much energy that we wanted to give it. And, so.
We can go about this, all day if we wanted to.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But I think, like, another item kind of aside from that is, like, I know since this has kind of started, You know, granted, you and I, it's not like you and I are training every day. Like we train we train 1 day a week after we shoot content, which is, you know, obviously we want more than that, but at the same time,
not enough.
It's kind of, yes. Yeah, it's kind of hard. So, you know, I've had a lot of like family members, I've had like coworkers reach out to me, and, you know, like, hey, like how, since the start, like how do you maintain like self-discipline, not just with like, you know, staying like fit, but also like your diet. Like, how are you able to take like a busy work day? Because when I start work, like I'm usually in front of my computer at like 6:30. I'm not out of there. You know, granted, when I say out of there, out of my room on the side of the house, I'm not out of there. It's like 7, 8 o'clock at night. So I'm putting in a long day. So you know, it can be a challenge sometimes. And you know, a lot of times when I'm bringing up the idea, it's one of the easiest way to kind of stay consistent, or any type of diet, whether it's you know, your diet or your workout routine, the easiest way to make it sustainable is to like it. You have to like what you're doing. There's a lot of these fad diets out there. There's like keto, there's Atkins, you know, there's every which diet under the sun. And I think
it's got to be sustainable though. That's the whole thing. Because like I've done keto myself, and you know, like I the thing with keto with me was like I lost inches. I wasn't losing weight. I was losing inches. But for me personally, like I felt great, I had great energy, but like once I went into those grueling training sessions, I didn't have enough go juice. Like I just didn't. I didn't, and you know, everybody, oh yeah, I couldn't. You know, listen, I'm not an expert. I'm not a dietitian. You know, or a nutritionist. But you know, we've been in the game long enough. Like I said, I mean, I got 32 years of martial arts experience.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm a jiu-jitsu black belt. I'm a kickboxing black belt. I'm a karate black belt. I'm a weapons black belt. So I've been doing some sort of martial arts training since I was 5 years old, and you know, I've trained professional athletes. You know, fighting at all different professional, from local shows to national shows, et cetera, right? And I've seen how nutritionists would coach certain guys, and I would see how certain guys would perform and everything else. And it's got, like you said, it's got to be sustainable, because there's a big difference between getting in fight shape and then having to cut weight than to just live a normal, healthy lifestyle.
Yeah.
Because some of that stuff that they do to cut weight is not healthy. We all know that.
Dude, don't even get me started on the whole weight cut.
Yeah.
You've seen me at different fight weights.
What did I tell you?
Yeah, you told me what do you walk around naturally at? And I told you at one point I was dropping down to 170.
Yeah.
And I walk around at like 180, 185. And you told me, like, dude, give it a shot. Don't cut. Like, go in there and compete at like what you walk in at, 185, walk on the scale, and then walk onto the mat. And you could see it, and I could feel it. Like, I feel better. Like, I felt stronger, I felt faster, and I was able to maintain throughout those long matches. Like,
yeah, so like for grappling wise, like, you know, I think guys, you know, as long as you can perform at a good level at your natural weight, like, just walk in. And you even see it, like, where guys used to cut weight, now guys are bulking up and they're like, fuck it, I want to be bigger, stronger, faster, you know, and they're fighting in the heavyweight division where they used to compete in, you know, the welterweight division, whatever it is. But, you know, I mean, like you perform better when your brain's not taxed with fluid and your muscles aren't taxed of, you know, the fluid and the nutrients and everything else. So for, like, grappling, I always said, like, any of my guys who competed, I'm like, compete closer to your natural weight.
Yeah.
You know, especially for, like, beginners, their first tournament, like, I'm like, just walk in where you're at. You'll see where you're at. You're going to be nervous as it is. You're going to be, you know, anxiety and panic ridden as it is. Like, why add you feeling like absolute dog shit to the puzzle if you don't have to? Like, you go in, and if you do good at 180, stay at 180. If you get your ass kicked and you're like, oh my god, these guys are so strong, like, then go to 170, you know, and then you're like, oh, I feel faster and stronger at 170, then you stay there. Or you walk in and you're just like, I'm a world beater until somebody beats me. You know, at that weight. So, you know, MMA, it's a little bit different because you have to make more weight classes, or, you know, broader scale of weight classes. But, you know, it's you know, and guys get forced to cut because, like, they're a natural 170, and everybody in their division is a natural, you know, 190 to 200 pounder cutting to 170. So, you know, in the gym, like, I'm a natural 170 or whatever it is, you know, and then I got to go against a natural 200 pounder. That's a big difference. That's a 30-pound kettlebell you're adding to your back, you know, so, or like a 35-pound plate, you know. So I think that's you know, with the diet, just be consistent,
Yeah.
and just little choices in the beginning. Everybody tries to make that big drastic change. I'm guilty of it myself. Like,
Yeah.
all right, I'm going to wake up, I'm just going to eat celery sticks in the morning, and then I'm going to just have tuna, and then I'm just going to do this. And, like, after, like, 2 weeks, like, yeah, I feel good, but then you're like, yo, I just want a motherfucking cheesecake.
Yeah.
I just want a candy. But, so I would say just little things, healthier breakfast, start with that. If you eat breakfast, like, I hate breakfast, so like I naturally intermittent fast. Like, I don't eat till 2-3 o'clock every day, and and then I don't eat dinner till late, and everybody's like, oh, it's so bad. My schedule's different than yours. So like, I don't get home till 9-10 o'clock at night sometimes. So, and then after training all day, I'm fucking hungry, and I'll eat myself to sleep. I don't care. That's what I do. And that's what I've done, and and that's how I feel, if I do certain things.
Yeah, and like I said, everyone's kind of different. Like you said, you have like your full-time
You got to find what
martial
works
arts.
for you too.
Yeah, you have your part-time martial arts, and like I said, you have your folks that are sitting in front of a desk all day and then going to train. So when it goes back to sustainability, there has to be a piece that actually likes what you're doing. Because like I said, you could jump into keto, feel great for like 3 weeks, and like I said, it goes back to like, fuck, I just want to eat this or eat that, and then you kind of fall off. So, and the fact is, there's so many pieces of information. There's a lot of really good healthy food out there. I always tell people, like, start like eating better, not completely rapidly change your diet, but find little things here and there that are healthy and that you like to eat. Like for me, like I've always grown up, like my mom used to make this big like kettle of like oatmeal in the morning, and this is back, kind of like my background with like martial arts, like. I started in Taekwondo when I was like a little kid, so I was fighting like Taekwondo. So anytime I had like a tournament, that was one of the things she would give me in the morning, just to kind of get me like fueled up. Even when I played like soccer too, like I did that. Even like fighting Muay Thai, like like I was on one of those carb heavy diets, like getting ready. That would kind of keep me energized. And then
even when you used to play football, you used to have like pasta nights, right? When I played football, they'd be like everybody get together pasta night, and you carb up the day before, and that was like the older school thing. So you would have that extra reserve to dig into, But like you got to eat with a purpose. So like if you're an athlete, you eat a certain way. If you're a normal person, you eat a certain way. If you're this type, if you're a world class cyclist, you need like what they say, like Michael Phelps, swimmer, like he would eat like a 10,000 calorie day diet, and the guy is shredded, right? Yeah. Where like if we ate a 10,000 calorie diet, I'd be like Jabba the Hutt, you know? So and you got to eat for what you're trying to achieve, I feel like, too. It's just fuel in the tank. You're a race car, you need race fuel. You're a diesel, you need diesel. So I think that's just those little things I think could definitely help. And like we said, we're not giving you a specific diet. Everybody's built different. Yeah. Everybody reacts to stuff. Like, try stuff. Like, try it.
Trial and error is a big thing, and like you shouldn't be afraid of that, because like I said, I've been active my entire life, so I've found things that work, things that don't work, and like don't get bent out of shape if you try to eat a certain way, it doesn't work. You just continue to tailor it as your lifestyle changes, and you're gonna find what works. You're gonna find what don't work. Don't be afraid of that, because like I said, there's still things. Like I said, I'm not a nutritionist. Yeah. There's still things I try. Yeah. Especially with my lifestyle, that don't work. Like I found one thing. Like you and I talked about the intermittent fasting. That really, from my personal experience, I found that works for me, just because I'm up super early, and now I can't eat that early. So it's easier for me to like get up at like 6 a.m., hit like a workout, and then I won't be hungry until like 12 o'clock. But the thing, especially if you want to incorporate something like that into your diet, like intermittent fasting, there's so many ways to do it. There's not one tried and true tested format. There's so many ways to do it. If that's something that works for you, give it a shot. You don't have to do it every day. I started off with doing like 2 days a week, and then I slowly kind of scaled it into, now I do it 7 days. Now I do it every day, just because it kind of works, especially now that, I have my daughter and I have number 2 on the way. So even right when she was born, it was just so much easier to kind of sustain. And I actually like it. Like I like getting up, just grabbing like a cup of coffee and just getting after it. Like I said, if it works for you, do it. If it doesn't, don't, like I said, don't get bent out of shape. Yeah. Don't get discouraged. You're going to find different things that work for you. But like I said, one of the easiest ways to get started is, like I said, there's so much information online. Try to find those little things. Like I said, it could start with just changing up your breakfast, or it could start with just changing your lunch or dinner. Just slowly, incrementally change things and start to eat better, and then that'll help you slowly kind of figure it out and see how your body reacts to these different types of, I don't want to call them trends, but different techniques that you may find to kind of help yourself like live a better life.
Yeah, and I would say to go off of that too is like a couple big things is when you do this, you got to eat with a purpose, whether it's like losing weight or shred up or whatever. But like, don't get so down on yourself if like you're doing your diet for 5 days and you fuck up. Like everybody needs a cheat day.
Absolutely.
The biggest thing is if you fall off that horse is getting back on. I know as cliche as it sounds, but it's a lot easier to get on the horse right away than let it go 3-4 weeks when you're like, oh, I've been eating carbs for 3-4 weeks. Now I gotta go through that keto flu again, or I gotta go through this again. So it's like, okay, like if you fall off for a day or two, that's fine. Get back on. Yeah. I was always a 5 day a weeker, like eat super strict 5 days, and then on the weekends, like I wouldn't go super ham, but like I would eat like okay one day, or like and just go terrible the next day, and then try to get back on. Mm-hmm. The big thing I would say for women too, because I've helped a lot of women lose weight over the way, and I see people with different things. They get super concerned about the number on the scale, and if your clothes fit better, if you look good, if you feel strong, if you're confident, I'd rather have a woman that walks around at 165 and feels great and strong and jacked than have the same woman go around trying to get to the 115, 125 number, or whatever it is. Yeah. But like, it's like, you know, especially my personal opinion, I might catch shit for this, but like as women get older, let's say into, you know, whatever, 40s, 50s, 60s, when you're too thin, you look older. Mm-hmm. When you have some meat and you have some, you know, muscle tone and you have some, you know, your skin just looks more elastic, you look healthier, you know, but like when you're trying to be like that too skinny, that's when that skin starts wrinkling a little bit more and you have that, you know, little bit look to it. So, you know, I mean, for girls, like honestly, like if you feel good, it fits good. You know, like, you know, I've had this conversation with Rand. Like, I'm like, don't worry about the number. Like, if your pants feel better, if this shirt feels better, if your confidence feel better, that's all that matters. Yeah, that's all that matters.
You want to feel good. It's great.
And I know, like, as a dude, like, as you know, your wife, you know, like husband, like, I love her either way. You know, of course. But like they have kids and they get self-conscious and everything else, and which is fine. But like, I love Jude, but like she said I'm weirdo because I'm like, she's 9 months pregnant. I still think she's hot. Like
I don't understand. Like
it's in their head. It's not in our head.
Yeah.
Like you know, like
says the same thing. I like, you know, it's
you're pregnant. I think she's more beautiful sometimes. You know, so like it's like. You know, it's a lot of times it's that own game in your head. Like we're our own worst enemies. You know, guys, women, whatever. Like humans, we're our own worst enemies sometimes.
Too, guys, and like I said, some guys, you know, train for aesthetics. They want to have that 8-pack. You know,
that all show no go.
They want to be toned up, and it's like, you know, I've done that in the past where I've been like, oh, I'm shredded. But then it's like
bullshit. You got black genetics. You're fucking cheating from the start, bro. Like it's easy. He's like, yo, I go get 5 guys and I still walk around like what's that dude? Tyson fucking whatever. Yeah. And Tyson Beckford. He's like, yep. Me, it's like, yo, I would have to starve myself for like 3 weeks and just lift weights. And I'm like, oh, I got my abs back. It's sweet. But, you know, like, we're all different. Dude, we're not going to be built the same way.
Dude, after 30, I'm going to be honest, it gets a little bit hard, but now...
Oh, it's so hard. I can't eat 3 hamburgers. I can only eat 2, you fucking jerk.
Listen, it's moderation. At this
I
point.
know. And listen. It's okay. Yeah. It's, you know, you're blessed, bro.
Yeah.
You're blessed. But you work hard. Like, that's... Yeah. All right, so that's the other thing. Let's get to a little bit, because we were talking about this, and, like, even though, like, you know, Drew puts in the work, though, too. Yeah. So he has good genetics, but he puts the work in. So we were having a couple people asking us, like, oh, Coach, what are you doing for Soul Joes?
Yeah,
what are you doing for workouts? And this goes for men and women. So, like, we were just talking about diet a little bit, but now it's like, okay, like, I don't have time to work out. I don't have this stuff. Yeah. Okay. So me and Drew have really spoke about this, and I've kind of made this, I heard Faraz Sahabi, GSP's coach, he put it like this the one time, and I was like, that makes a lot of sense. And I naturally kind of started doing that as I did get older.
Yeah.
Training a certain way. It used to be 100 miles an hour. If you don't go 100 miles an hour, if you don't crush every leg day in the gym, and you don't do this, you're not putting in work, you're soft, you're this, you're that. Okay, and there's like guys like David Goggins, who's a complete psychopath. I love him, but like, you know, like not everybody's built like that. Not everybody's that hard, you know. But like the way you got to look at workouts is like compounding interest.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're not familiar with compounding, like, you know, you put money in the account, and as you get more money, more interest, bigger numbers, make bigger things, and everything grows together. Right? Yeah. Basic gist of it. So I'd rather have somebody work out and with me, 5 days a week, which I know everyone's like, holy shit, 5 days a week? Like, I have kids. Yeah, no shit. We do too.
Yeah.
Okay? So, and Drew's working 16 hours, and I own my own business, and I do this, and I do. So, like, listen, we got your box check, kid.
Yeah.
You're being lazy on a certain thing. So, and it doesn't have to be a half hour, an hour, whatever. Now, we're built a certain way where we want to work for an hour or two.
Oh, yeah. I want to do that every day, man.
But like we were saying, I'd rather have somebody working out with me 5 days a week, and it's like, okay, if we just did, like, let's take a number, 10 squats a day.
Yeah.
Okay? By the end of the week, you did 50 squats. Where if you just worked out with me twice a week and we blasted your legs and you did 40 those 2 days, and you couldn't walk for the next 2 days, and then I'd rather have you work out with me. And then the other thing is the numbers. You actually did more squats in those 5 days at a lower volume than you did in those 2 days where you crushed it, you killed it, etc. So you can do little things like that. It adds up. Like, you were saying, like, okay, you do set the goal of like 500 push-ups a week or whatever, right?
Because I was used to, if we're talking before kind of this madness started, I was used to, like, getting up at like 5 o'clock in the morning, crushing the weights, working all day, jiu-jitsu at night, and doing that like 3-4 times a week. So almost doing like a modified like 2 a day. Mm-hmm. And now, because now my hours of work have kind of ramped up significantly, and now it's kind of hard. Am I doing a 2 a day? No, absolutely not. So I was used to doing like 1 hour, 2 hour workouts. Mm-hmm. So now at this point I'm like, all right, so what are my goals? What am I trying to do here until I'm able to get back into like the gym full time, train full time, while about like what can I do? So my kind of overarching theme was like consistency. Mm-hmm. Right? So now I'm not doing this 2 a day. So what can I do on a daily basis to kind of keep myself loose? Because as we know, as you get older and whatnot, that flexibility starts to go away.
Oh, yeah.
So what can I do on a daily basis? And I'm not talking about crushing like an hour workout every day. No. Honestly, I don't have time for that because I'm up. I'm up at 6. My daughter's usually up at 7. Yeah. So it's a combination of, trying to run meetings at work, stay on the computer.
Going back to that balance, kid.
Yeah, going back to making sure she's fed, making sure I'm spending that time with her. Also making sure my wife's good because, it's kind of like a tag team effort going back and forth. Like, she's helping out. She's jumping on her meetings, so it's kind of going back and forth. So now it's like, a 1 hour workout, what I used to do one day. Now it becomes like, let's say like a 15-minute, max like 30-minute like clip. And sometimes for you folks who are sitting at a computer for multiple times a day, sometimes I'll throw that shit on my calendar. Yeah. I'll throw like a 15-minute or 30-minute workout just so no one else, when they're scheduling even with me, they schedule over that. So now I can kind of use that.
Write it into your schedule.
Yeah.
And then the biggest thing too is, like we said, is holding yourself accountable. Yeah. So even like, all right, let's just take this number, shits and giggles, right?
Yeah.
So like, say 500 push-ups. Like, okay, you have a week to get them done.
Yeah.
So you could do 50 one day, 10 the next. But then the next day you're going to have to do 60 or 70. And then the next day you're going to have to do, whatever. And it doesn't mean you have to sit there and bang out 70 push-ups right there. You could do 10 in the morning, 10 at lunch, 10 in the afternoon, 10 when you go do this, 10 when you go do that. But you have your certain amount of time to get those 500 done. So then if you do it for 4 days and you still got 100, well, you fucked yourself the last day. You got to get the 100 in.
Yeah, and it's easy to kind of, especially when you look online at some of these people that have these like ridiculous like home gyms. Look at like Jocko Willink for one second. He shows like his garage gym. He's got the full Rogue, squat rack. He's got kettlebells.
You don't need that.
You don't need that, and obviously it sucks because I tried to buy.
It's nice to have though.
It's nice to have, but even when you look online now to buy anything, everything's sold out.
Yeah.
So and
everybody's gonna be a gym warrior. Once all this shit's done, we're gonna be able to pick up gym equipment for like pennies on the dollar.
I mean, honestly, you look. If I were to show you like my home gym, and you look at it's my bedroom. It's a pull-up bar that I got on Amazon for like $20. It's like one 35-pound kettlebell. I got a jump rope and I got a set of like those parallel bars, those kind of parallel bars we're going for. That's it. Yeah,
I mean we just have kettlebells, a couple dumbbells.
Yeah.
And like I pick up my 3 kids all the time, so I got I got a 45-pound plate, I got a 35-pound plate, and I got a 25-pound plate that wiggles and moves, and I gotta hold them on my head and my neck and my arms and that. So like use what you got. Yeah. You could use a chair, dips, all that other stuff. So I think the biggest thing that we're just trying to say is don't be super hard on yourself, but hold yourself accountable.
Yeah.
So I know that sounds like a double negative, right? But this is the whole thing. You have to start maintaining some discipline, but if you fall off the horse, don't just say crucify yourself and be like, I can't do it. You haven't failed. And like, listen, this is another big thing. Like, everybody who is successful has failed multiple times. And if they told you they haven't, they're lying or they're just an egomaniac. Like, not everything. Do you see the best baseball players walk up? Even the home run leading kings, they hit a home run every time? No, they've struck it out. They've hit and fly balls. They've, gotten a single. They've hit into double plays. But they stepped up to the plate and took the swing. So all we're saying is step up, take the swing. You might go 0 for 4 the first time, but then the next time you go 1 for 4. And then the next time you go 2 for 4. And then you have a real good run where you're 3 for 4.
Yeah.
Then you have a really good run where you're 4 for 4, but then all of a sudden you go back to 2 for 4. It's a slump. So it's okay. Just practice the behavior and keep working through it.
Yeah.
And then it's like, I think that's the biggest thing. It's just consistency and compounding interest. So I think the easiest tip I can give to men, women, etc., but I do give this to a lot of my lady clients. Easiest change to make, gallon of water a day, cut out the bullshit, the other soda, whatever. Yeah. Because, even if you're like, oh, I can only drink 2 bottles. Yeah, but that's flushing all the shit out of you, and it's making you less hungry, and it's doing the other thing. The workout thing. This is the other pro of drinking the gallon a day. Especially if you had kids. Ladies, you got to pee a lot, right?
Yeah.
So, every time you pee, you either got to reward your pee with doing 10 squats, then pee. Or when you're done, 10 squats. So by the end of the day, you might do 100 squats if you had to pee 10 times. Yeah. So it's little things like that, and I know it's silly, but I've had a lot of my clients do it, and we've had success with it. Yeah. So, it's just those little things, or it's like, okay, you want that little thing, you got to earn it. Do 10 push-ups, and then you can eat that. Yeah. Or do this, it's just holding yourself accountable and earning your stuff instead of just instant gratification.
Yeah, those weekly goals kind of really help. If you set a goal, like I said, you were saying, set a goal for 500 pull-ups in a week, not 500 pull-ups in a day. Like I said, anytime you walk in and out of your bedroom, just hit that bar real quick when you wake up.
6 here, 5 here, 10 here. If you could do 10 pull-ups, you're a stud.
Yeah. You'd be surprised how fast. Especially if you're walking in and out of that room all day, or walking around the house, you'd be surprised how quickly you can hit that goal. You might set that goal on Monday and hit it by Wednesday. You never know.
You never know.
Yeah.
You don't know, but you also don't know unless you try.
Yeah.
So don't be scared to fail, kids.
Yeah, I think
do not let the fear of something that may happen make nothing happen. Once again, I think we started the episode with that quote.
Yeah.
We can end the episode with that quote.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
Right? Good time. Good talking to you, brother. Always a pleasure.
Yep.
Guys, you can find us on what?
So if we're talking about the Twitter, it's 2LifeFools00 or at 2LifeFools00. Instagram, what's our handle on Instagram?
Instagram is just 2LifeFools.
Yep.
All right, and then you can find us on all the media platforms. Spotify, Anchor, Google, all that stuff. You guys can find us, so we're pretty easy to get to. And then always thank you to Roll Junkie, one of our sponsors.
Yep.
If you guys want to check out any of the jiu-jitsu equipment, it's gis, rash guards. They got the flyest t-shirts in all the land, long sleeves, shorts, spats. Use promo code 2LiveFools with the S at the end, 2LiveFools at rolljunkie.com, and you get 15% off your entire order.
Yeah.
So check it out. They're dope as shit. Me and Drew have been using them, wearing them for years. We really love that company, and we love the people that own the company. Ed and Matt, Ed's one of our main training partners. Matt, trained with them for years. Great guy, done a lot of business with them, and they're just honest, nice American company. So give them some love.
There we go.
All right, and we'll talk to you guys soon. And hope you guys liked our mass debate. Yeah, you like that?
Yeah.
All right, check it out, kids. We'll see you later.
Jiu-jitsu, when I hit you, then I split you.